Welcome back, Tribe. Got an episode here from Homath. Been highly recommended. Bird Hands, apparently. A lot of you have been wanting me to watch this one. So let's get into it. I have not seen this.
The Whatever podcast asked, why do they always do the hand thing, referring to this little henpeck gesture that girls have been making with their hands? And I thought I'd bring you the answer. Here it is.
Good question.
So the hand thing that the TikTok girls are doing is the hands are closed and pointed at you. And it means, you better listen to me. I am telling you. Me. This is what you believe now. Me. When you point it at yourself, you get the Italian, like the chef's kiss thing. Oh, I'm telling you, this is so... Look at what I did over
got
here.
Too much
I
tomato
did that
sauce.
Unconsciously. This is so good, you should try it. The hands closed over here are, I'm sure of what I'm saying, and I receive your needs. You should
Make
try this thing. That's great.
You can't refuse.
This is also used in Italian arguments. I told you about that kid. What Trump does is the open hands, double open hands, and he moves them around a lot. I am listening to you. I understand your needs. When the hands are open towards yourself, it means listen to me. I'm begging you, listen to me. Almost like you're doing the open hands for the other person. You would never do this with that. You would never say, please listen to me. I'm begging you. You see how that doesn't match? So the hand signals they're not nothing. They're unconscious. Like if you just let your hands do what they want while you're talking, they'll sort of do some of the
Good
talking
point.
for you. So the fact that the TikTok girls are all doing this is a bad sign. It means they're at the end of their rope, in my opinion, and they're just going like, do what I want, do what I want. So that's how women are doing, I guess. And it's always the women who are falling off the bottom first. It's the ones who are the most susceptible to social change. But these things always spread. They always spread throughout society. Like 20 years ago, everyone said, don't meet anybody from the internet. And now that's all we do. So this might follow a similar pattern. I read a little bit about body language on short form. It's a great resource to supplement whatever you're learning. You got to pay attention to what people are doing when they talk, and short form can help. Get 20% off with my private. Them and their besties are way up at the top and everyone else is trash. It's a collective negotiation strategy. They all work in human resources. When they're in a unified group, they control access to everything, especially when they convince the male mids to play along, like they're gonna get something for doing it. They never do. The reason this is so dangerous, and we used to throw rotten fruit at them for doing it, is that the hand-holding group only works when they lie. That's how you show loyalty to the group. You tell ridiculous lies, because the bigger the lie, the more you are proving that you'll say anything to be included. It's a token of submission. That's why it's so disgusting when men do it. And that's why everything is so upside down right now. Because when women get power, they don't just say, I'm better at your job than you, like a man would. It's usually not true, too. Instead, they say things like, babies can be pilots too, because if that's true, then that means everyone should be accepted everywhere, even if they're not good enough. And by everywhere, they mean only the best places, which is the same thing as saying, I'm a 10. Do you see how it's all connected? Make a demand and then collectively lie to justify it. I'm a 10 means I am marriage material for anybody. I should get paid the same as someone who can actually do the job. It doesn't matter what I do, it matters what I get, even if I'm not earning it. And someone else can make up for what I'm not doing, even if he doesn't get anything. So then they vote to get, even if they're not earning it. And then when they're getting equal or greater, then they think they're better than you, which makes you icky. And then all the women are looking for a tiny few.
Man, that's so true, that not people thing. The invisibles, that's what I called them years ago. There's these guys, when you talk to women and the kind of men they're attracted to, every experience that they're relating, all the horror stories are in dating, all the guys that say that they're assholes, even when you hear them say things like, you know, my man's got to be over 6 feet tall, minimum, make over 6 figures, minimum. It sounds like they're in La La Land, but really they're not. What they're really relating to, and it's hard for a man to grasp, is that every single guy they're hanging out with is the top percentile guy. They're picking the 8, 9, and the 10. For them, it's normal for guys to make 6 figures, be over 6 feet tall, XYZ, whatever other demands that they have. For them, that's the average guy. Believe it or not, that's average to women. So that's why they're so detached from reality when you ask an average like 6 or a 5 or a 7, whatever, like, What's the average salary for a man? Like those videos, I forgot what her name was. That woman, she does content too. It was the chick that said she likes the Pagani BC. I forgot what her name was, but she was interviewing women and they were saying the most ridiculous, detached from the real world shit imaginable. Like chicks talking about, I want my man, I'm a fucking single mother and I want my man to be making at least 600,000. Shit like that. Bare minimum, he must be making 400,000 a year. I want a Pagani BC, but I'll take a Ferrari. I mean, a Ferrari, it's all right, I guess. But what I really want is a Pagani BC. It's like the most average mid girl next door and even below with single fucking like mother status. Because those guys at the 8, 9, and 10 are porking all the girls. And from like 7 down, it's easy mode. For an 8, 9, 10 guy, brutally easy. From 7 down, dude, it's automatic. They'll hookah and chill. You don't even come straight to your place, bring a bottle of wine. There's no effort involved. It's like shooting fish in a barrel because an 8, 9, 10 guy represents the pinnacle to them. They tell themselves this Disney happily ever after, I'll be the one that breaks him, you know, tames the stallion and stuff like that. The only work you really have to put in is with like 8, 9s, and 10s. Everything below that, when you're a top percentile dude, is a fucking cakewalk. Zero effort involved. Literally no questions asked. Girls put out first date, zero friction, zero resistance. Eager, actually, take your pants off, stuff like that. That's the difference in value, which women are keenly aware of. They always bullshit guys too. The most nefarious part of all this is what they do with the men that are like 7 and below, is that they feed them the delusional, the manipulation, the lying is where they tell these guys like, you know what, you're such a nice guy. And I wish I could just find a nice guy like you, a nice guy like you. You mean a guy with your personality, but actually hot, actually attractive. She's calling you ugly. Like the nice guys don't even know that. The nice guys think like, oh, she's just stuck up on this 9 Chad or this 10 Tyrone or this Yang or the Julios or the whatever other Chad variations for every race. The nice guy thinks that he still has a shot at playing the long game until literally used up with single mothers. And then she's like, you know what? Maybe I've been making the wrong choices. Translation, none of the guys I used to mess with want me anymore because they're fucking 20-year-olds. So now that there's nothing left and you've been here like a good little boy, just, you know, a little lap dog wagging his tail and starving, thirsty dude in the Sahara, I'll finally throw you a bone. Okay. I'll let you hit once or twice. I'll do some acrobatics that Chad taught me. I'll grease your pole up really good for like a good couple of months. And because you've been so thirsty for this, you're already ready for marriage. You've been imagining marriage for 5 years, 10 years of us being friends while you heard me in the room next door getting my guts rearranged, railed through the fucking plywood, just hearing all sorts of ohs and ahs. And now that you get your turn, you're going to lock it down with a ring to show just how serious you are. And this is how nice guys get caught up in the, if you've ever heard a guy say, once you put a ring on, sex dries up. They were that guy. They were the nice guy. You got played. You were literally a mark, a trick the entire time. You didn't even know. And once you finally got into a marriage or relationship and you locked it down with the ring to show how serious you were, pussy disappears. Because she got what she wanted, a simp to pay for her life in perpetuity until her last breath. A lot of men fall, most men, every guy 7 and below practically falls under that. Okay, 6 and below. 7 still got a shot with like another 7, but you're a 6 and below. Well, for women, technically, anything below an 8 is invisible and ugly, but some guys will do okay, 7 with deep pockets, shit like that. But 6 and belows, dude, you don't exist. You're a bipedal humanoid. Your only job is to sacrifice your life, help her when she needs help on the side of the road, pay her way to whatever it is that she needs, as long as she just acknowledges you even exist, and move on with her day. Ew, and don't you dare sexually be inclined towards her in any fashion whatsoever, because then you transition from bipedal humanoid to creeper disgusting, call the cops, he's trying to rape me. That's what it is. That's why they got the funny meme that says, step 1, be attractive. You know, it's hot when Chad does it. It's creepy and what's the word they use? Or just creepy in general. Yeah, you could just say it. It's just creepy when non-Chads do it. It's assault, harassment. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, it's so hot. The way Chad tells me what to do, where to go, how to behave. He's just It's like he knows what he wants. He just practically uses my body. I love such a domineering man. You do the same shit and you're a 7 and below, you are harassing her. You're a creeper. I'm calling the cops. You can't tell me what to do. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? Don't touch me. Don't grab. Don't do. Da, 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 and on it goes, right? That's really what it is. It's just these, on and on. You don't get to talk to me that way. But a Chad comes along and all of a sudden, fucking pea-brain over here, it melts. And it's like, yes, sir. Yes, Dad. Anything you want. Here's my credit card. Drive my Altima. Take my bank account. The game couldn't be any more different. It's crazy. It really is. Until you experience it, you have no idea, man.
You men, and then no one gets married and has kids, and everyone hates each other. That's why I want you to look for things like the bird hands. This is all about giving instructions. This is what we believe now. And they're trying to make you simp, and you can't do it because you lose. We all lose. Bird hands are a sign of desperation. You don't have to be forceful if you're actually in control. So when you see women doing this, they're saying, this is what you have to agree with or you're not in the club. And you don't want to be in the club. Here's a preview from my new levels chart. This one's easier to read. Video's coming soon. Bird hands are coming from this level. They're trying to control you to get power. Here's a few examples.
Men responding to the chopped man epidemic girl are giving the same kind of energy as the kind of man who would hit on you and when you reject him would say, oh, well, you ain't that cute anyway.
Here's the girl she's talking about.
Like, that's a cute girl.
So here's how things are gonna be.
I want to share my thoughts on this chopped man epidemic thing. But here's the thing. The majority of men out there are not putting any effort into making themselves appear attractive to women. I can see people's attractiveness objectively, and even if I'm not personally attracted to them, I can recognize when someone is attractive.
Notice the excessive pecking. She's saying, believe me, even though she knows deep down that she wouldn't see these guys as so gross if it wasn't for the power imbalance caused by her own behavior. This one was political activism, and she knows she's full of it.
If watching families being ripped apart does not appeal to your humanity, let me try and appeal to you financially, because these mass ICE deportations are bad for the economy.
Isn't that the face of persuasion? Don't you want to believe everything she says? Here's one more real quick.
Men always complain that women are constantly nagging. Maybe she's not nagging, and it's just that you keep doing the same thing over and over again. A woman doesn't want to be in the position to act like your mother. Don't put yourself in the position to act like her child.
That's good advice in a relationship, but on a society-wide scale, you voted for equal, which makes you look at men like children. I don't know if you can do the math. Women have to respect...
Very nice. The only way to counter crane styles with tiger claw. Yeah, the only thing worse than bird hands is clapping with each word or syllable. This is Italian culture appropriation. It is indeed. And bird hand fatigue. Mouthy mid epidemic. Now, that's a good one, actually. Yeah, gassed up mid is... this really is a solid one from that Gundam video. I remember that. Yeah, always a judgmental tone with the bird hands. It's true. Look, do they take their cues from social media, TikTok, all that stuff, the content they consume? That is their new in-group. And if you don't fall in line, toe the line, as they say, you don't belong and you get ostracized. The digital, what could you say, reputation is now more important to them than their actual real life at times. It seems that way. Seems like there's so many women specifically that are living a fake kind of influencer wannabe lifestyle online, because that becomes their new mask to the entire world. Like, your life could be complete shit, circling the drain. And as long as your Instagram or TikTok is pruned perfect and everything looks fine, you're good. You're saving face, because women are really good at this kind of saving face behavior that you see, especially in the Asian countries. But women here in the West have started doing it. So now you have this epidemic of all these women taking their cues from not only just socially engineered things like, oh God, just call it rainbow community, feminism, you name it. There's so many things that have been CIA co-opted, that have been brought into, engineered into the psyche of Americans in the West in general. Women took that, ran with it. Why? Because power, because the group, right? The dominant hierarchy said, this is what you'll believe in. And then all the women start to believe that. Don't question it, because that means you get ostracized. You can't really survive on your own. It's just a biological imperative that they have survival through the group. And then, even though you know it's not right, you will save face and pretend that a man can be in a woman's sport. Save face and pretend that a man can just wear some lipstick and a dress and go into a woman's bathroom. You will pretend the most absurdities that you could possibly imagine just to be within the group so you do not get ostracized and labeled, whatever, an extremist, what did they say? Internalized misogyny, setting women back, and all this other stuff. It takes some balls, actually, quite literally, most of the time, and figuratively speaking, of course, to go against the grain and be the hammer that sticks out, potentially, and especially today on the internet, get hammered and keep popping back up for more. But, that's usually a male, what could you say, characteristic? Most women are not going to be the nails that stick out because it's survival for them. A man's much more likely to be the kind of lone wolf mentality type, which is why, by way of feminism and all that other stuff, masculinity was always the target. It was always the goal. That's what they really want to destroy overall, because that's the only thing holding things together. At least your rights, individual, your liberties, holding government in check, all that stuff. Once masculinity is erased, welcome. You will have your utopic authoritarianism shoved down your throat. Demolition Man, but 100 times worse. That's what's coming. That is why they destroy families. That's why they attack men. That is why men are feeling the brunt of this, quote, modern world. No families, no good paying jobs, no way to climb the social ladder. All of this stuff, it's a plan. It's managed. It's engineered. It's not an accident. These eggheads at the top, all these demonic forces, whatever you want to call them, these globalists, these money goblins, they all have planned this for years. Anybody with half a brain could see what happens when you institute said policy of, let's say, for example, taking a man out the home, what would happen generations down the line, right? That's one of many examples. When you tell women that marriage is emotional labor and that children are not important, but our career is more important, we know down the line what that leads to. Everybody, at least on that side, that was pushing these ideas and still are, even more radical versions of them than 10, 20 years ago, still pretend like, oh, we didn't know that this was going to happen, or this wasn't our intention. Actually, it was. You're gaslighting everybody. Actually, this was your exact intention. But hey, I digress. Goblin's going to gobble, and money's going to keep coming, right? Power is going to keep coalescing and condensing into a single point, which is those at the very top. See you on the next one, boys. Take care of yourselves.